Every day I read comments from viewers who just received their new hardware wallet and they're disappointed either because it doesn't have certain features that they were expecting or it doesn't support the coins that they want to store. So I thought it would be a good idea to go over all the things that you should check before you buy a hardware wallet so you don't waste your time, your money, and end up with a product that you can't even use and then come to the comments and scream at me. Since I already briefly touched on it, one of the first things I always check before buying a hardware wallet is coin support. Does it support the coins that you want to hold? I can't tell you how many times someone has watched one of my hardware wallet review videos, they order the wallet, and then they get it, and then they're mad at me because it doesn't support the coins that they want to store on it. Trust me, if I could list off every single coin and network a wallet supports, I would do it, but no one wants to watch 5 hours of me listing off random coins, so it's really important that you check this yourself. So how do you check? Well, you just go to the website of whatever wallet you're thinking about buying, find the tab that says Asset. From there, you can view the list of networks and tokens that the wallet supports. I like to just type in the search bar rather than scrolling endlessly until I find the specific coins that I'm looking for. And if you can't find the supported coins page on the wallet's website, then just go to Google and type in the wallet's name followed by coin support, and that should fast track you to the coin support page for their website. That said, coin support isn't the only compatibility issue that you should consider. You should also consider device compatibility, as in, will it work with the device that you have at home and the one that you prefer to use? For example, one of my favorite hardware wallets, Tangem, is a mobile-only wallet, so it only works with iOS and Android devices that also have NFC capabilities, while a wallet like Trezor is mainly desktop compatible, so it will only work with your computer. And then there are wallets that will work with both mobile and desktop, such as the OneKey Classic 1S and the SafePal X1. So really, it's just a preference on what device you want to use your wallet with, but you should definitely consider this before buying your wallet. And just like you can check the wallet's website to see what coins it supports, you're also able to check the website to see which devices that hardware wallet will be compatible with. Now, one of the worst things you can do before you buy a hardware wallet is not learning how user-friendly it is. Now, to be fair, this can be kind of difficult because you can't test out a hardware wallet before you buy it. It's not like an iPhone where you just walk into the Apple store and try out the latest model. But what you can do is look at reviews and user guides here on YouTube or maybe in a blog or something like that. Of course, this won't compare to actually getting your hands on the physical product and testing it out yourself, but it'll give you a pretty good idea of whether or not you think you'll feel comfortable using the wallet and confident. And for the most part, regardless of what wallet you're using, all hardware wallets pretty much work the same. Of course, there are going to be some small nuisances that might make one wallet more user-friendly over another, but overall, they're pretty similar as far as the usability goes. It's like if you go from using an iPhone to an Android. Are they different? Of course, but they're both phones. They both really do the same thing. You know, the apps will look a little different and maybe function a little different. But overall, if you can use an iPhone, then you're going to be just fine using an Android. On that note, when I think of a user-friendly hardware wallet, I expect it to be quick and easy to set up. I expect the transaction process to be seamless and somewhat enjoyable. And I expect the app for the hardware wallet to be straightforward and not crowded with a bunch of useless features that I'm never going to use. An example of a less user-friendly hardware wallet is the Keystone 3 Pro. Because this wallet is air-gapped, you have to use the camera on the device to scan QR codes, and then you have to scan the device with your phone or computer to approve the transaction. So although this offers some security benefits, it can be really frustrating to use, especially if you're new to using cold wallets. But the overall takeaway from this whole section is to watch someone else use the wallet before buying it and then decide if you would be happy and comfortable using it. That said, something as important as security is one thing you should never overlook. So what security features should you look for in a hardware wallet? Well, this is what I prefer. First is a secure element chip. This chip securely stores your private key and helps prevent a hacker from stealing it. It's the same type of chip used in a bank card and electronic passports to keep your sensitive data private. Second is a 12 to 24 word seed phrase. While some wallets offer a seedless option, I'm a firm believer that you should know the key to your wallet. This way you can import it into a new wallet if yours breaks, or if you just decide that you want to change wallets. Third is PIN protection. Almost all hardware wallets allow you to set up your own PIN to keep others out of your wallet. Fourth is a hidden wallet or passphrase option. This feature basically lets you create a passphrase to add to your seed phrase, which is why it's often called the 13th or 25th word phrase. So not only does this create a completely separate wallet derived from your original seed phrase, but it generates new receiving addresses for all of your crypto. And fifth is at least some level of open source code along with an audit from a security company. Open source code means anyone can easily view the code and check for vulnerabilities. But since I can't read code, I rely on third-party auditors to check for me and notify the manufacturer of any concerns so that they can fix them. And really, those are the 5 security features that I like my hardware wallet to have. Of course, other hardware wallets will have some James Bond-like features such as a self-destruct mechanism that will erase all the data from your hardware wallet if there are too many failed attempts trying to access it. Some wallets will have multiple security chips, and then some wallets even come with a biometric fingerprint scanner that you can use to access the device and approve transactions. But as long as you have those 5 security features that I mentioned, you're going to be golden. Something else worth considering is firmware updates and how often you have to update your wallet and how you update your wallet. Most hardware wallets will just have you update the firmware using a USB-C cable and plugging it into your computer. And this will fix things like any bugs or add new support for new tokens and new networks. But some wallets such as LEPAL and Keystone, which are both air-gapped, might have you update the firmware using a micro SD card. And if you've never done this before, it can be kind of a pain, especially if you're not tech savvy, because you have to format the SD card into a certain file format. But overall, it's pretty easy to update a hardware wallet, but you just want to make sure that you're okay with how you have to update it and that you'll be comfortable doing it. And then there are some wallets like Tangem that don't require a firmware update at all, and all you have to do to get these bug fixes and new features is update the app on your phone, which pretty much everyone knows how to update an app. And this is done by design so that you can't accidentally download a malicious firmware onto the wallet. But ultimately, it just comes down to personal preference and how comfortable you are with updating a specific device's firmware. Now, something else I don't think a lot of people consider is brand reputation. And the reason that I say this is Ledger is still one of the most popular hardware wallets on the market, yet they have single-handedly destroyed their reputation, but most people don't know that because they don't dig that deep before they buy a Ledger wallet. If you want to know more about how Ledger destroyed their reputation, I'll make sure to link to that video at the end of this video. But for now, if you want to research a brand's reputation, here are some things and resources that you can use. So number 1 is to go to Reddit, just type in the wallet's name, and then read through all the comments and see what people are saying about the wallet. Another option, of course, is to jump on YouTube. Not just watch the video about the wallet, but go through the comments and see what people are saying. People have actually used the device are actually saying about the wallet. And from there, you can get a pretty good idea of if the wallet has a good reputation or bad reputation. But the one thing you shouldn't do is take one person's word for it, whether that's mine or someone you read in the comment. It's better to just take it all in, read both sides of someone's opinions, and then come to your own conclusion and decide if that might be the wallet for you. That said, part of a brand's reputation is how good their customer support is, and that's another mistake people make, is not checking to see if the wallet offers any kind of customer support. I'm not the first to say this, and I definitely won't be the last, but customer support is practically non-existent in the crypto industry, and you know this, especially if you've had to reach out to a company like Coinbase, whose customer support is complete trash. Also, it can be difficult to determine if a brand offers good customer support without directly interacting with them. So if you don't want to directly interact with them, one thing you can do is head over to their social media accounts on Twitter, or as the youngins call it, X, and then just search for the brand's name, and then just read through their posts, see if they're posting active, and see if they reply to people's comments and offer support. Another place to check is on YouTube in the comments sections. There have been multiple occasions where brands like Keystone and Tangem have come into the comments of my videos and answered some of my viewers' questions directly, and this is just a sign that they go above and beyond to provide customer support, which again, even that is pretty huge in the crypto space. Heck, you can even send the company an email with a specific question about their products or their service and see how long it takes them to reply, or if they reply at all. Something else I've noticed with most hardware wallet companies is that they are actually located on the complete opposite end of the world from where I am. So manufacturer origin is something else you might want to look into. Now, I'm going to be honest, most hardware wallets are manufactured in China, and for some reason, I see a lot of people in the comments who are saying that if a device is made in China, then it's a complete red flag. Well, here's a news flash for you. Most all electronics are manufactured in China, and if they aren't made in China, then some of the parts used in the wallet is probably from China. So for me, this is not a big concern, especially if the wallet is open source and audited by a third-party security company. But one thing that is kind of frustrating is the difference in time zones. So communicating with a company that is in a different time zone is not very efficient, I found out. I talked to a lot of these hardware wallet brands directly, at least once to twice a month, and they're usually sending me messages well after my bedtime, somewhere between 1 and 4 a.m. So some nights I find myself trying to pull an all-nighter just so I can have a decent conversation versus going back and forth for a week. Surprisingly, even though most hardware wallets are manufactured in China, they aren't all created equally. So physical durability is something you should definitely look into, especially if you're someone who travels a lot, because you'll probably want a wallet that's more durable. When it comes to durability, I consider things like the battery as well as the overall build quality, of course. So if a hardware wallet has an internal lithium-ion battery, you can safely assume that that battery is eventually going to fail, which isn't a huge deal because you can still use your hardware wallet by plugging it into a power source, even if the battery takes a dump. This actually happened to me with my Ledger Nano X after only using it for 1 year. I didn't even use it often, and I stored it in a cool place with those moisture absorbing packets, and it still failed. But if you want to completely avoid the whole battery situation, then you can opt for a wallet that is super durable, such as Tangem. Again, this is just a card. It has no battery in it, and it's actually IP68 rated, so it's waterproof, it's dustproof, it's resistant to extreme temperatures, it's X-ray resistant, it's resistant to EMPs and electrostatic discharges. So a wallet like that is going to be super durable. You can rough it up and you can travel with it without having to worry about it failing on you. And you know yourself, if you're the clumsy type like me and you're always knocking things over and running into stuff, then you might want to opt for a more durable hardware wallet. But it's not just about the wallet's durability. You should also look at its overall design and how it functions. Now, one thing the Ledger Nano X has going for it kind of is its design. While it's not super user-friendly because it only has 2 buttons, it is pretty inconspicuous because it just looks like a USB stick, which would be okay when you're traveling. It's not going to draw a lot of attention to it, versus a larger hardware wallet with a big touchscreen that could draw unwanted attention to it if you were to leave it in your hotel room or something like that. That said, a wallet with a touchscreen is going to be more convenient than a wallet like the Ledger Nano X because a touchscreen wallet is going to have a full keypad, which will make things like entering your seed phrase and your PIN much quicker versus a wallet like the Ledger Nano X with only 2 buttons. It just takes way too long to do anything. Point is, you want a wallet that you'll enjoy using, but also one that doesn't stick out like a sore thumb if you plan on using it outside of the privacy of your own home. This next thing isn't something a lot of people talk about or even consider, but it is worth pondering for a minute, so hear me out, and that is the overall innovation and willingness to adapt. So what do I mean? Well, ask yourself, is the wallet manufacturer willing to go above and beyond to make a better product and provide a better experience for their current users and potential customers? So doing things like adding highly requested networks and even coming out with new products. I can think of a few companies like Ledger and Trezor who have pretty much been offering the same wallet since they were founded. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but I am saying that their products could probably be better. My thought is, if a company is already trying their best to create an enjoyable wallet before the market demands it, then who do you think is going to be more willing to adapt when that demand comes? I think the answer is pretty clear. And something else worth considering is price. Out of all the wallets I've tested dozens of wallets. Expensive doesn't equal more secure or even a better product. The company is simply targeting people who are willing to pay the higher price for their brand name. It's similar to buying a Nike t-shirt for $60 versus buying that same t-shirt without the Nike logo on it for $10. And that's not to say that all wallets are created equally, but without a doubt, my favorite hardware wallets that I usually recommend are all under $100, which you can watch in this next video, along with how Ledger destroyed their reputation in this video. I'll see you there. Peace.